Greetings, friends, and welcome to the latest episode of the Federation's Most Wanted, the Blake Seven podcast. I'm the Preacher 711, and I'm on a mission to seek, locate, and interview Blake Seven fans from across the community. And joining me on a pink planet covered in fleshy creatures and plants are none other than Lucy and Catherine. Lucy, Catherine, hi.
Hello.
So, for people that don't know you, you were recently doing a mass Blake Seven watch along on Twitter, the pair of you.
Yes.
Which was brilliant to follow. I love a good first fans watch along. And we were just joking about it ended in the most brilliant set of 4 photos you guys took, showing your heartbreak at the end, which was amazing.
Definitely.
So when you offered, I had to absolutely have you on. So, guys, how did you get into Blake Seven? Where did it all start? What did you think when you watched it? How did it make you feel?
Oh,
Tell me.
We thought and felt a hell of a lot. I think it started years and years and years ago when I was listening to a Doctor Who podcast called The Memory Cheats. One of the hosts on there kept on mentioning Blake Seven. So it was in the back of my mind. I wanted to watch it for years and years and years. And then we did a massive rewatch and first watch for some of the episodes of all of Doctor Who. And then we started watching All Creatures Great and Small, the original one as well. And then we were just like, oh, what else should we watch? And I was thinking, oh, well, I've wanted to watch Blake Seven for ages. So we did. And we started that and then absolutely fell in love with it. And it destroyed all of our emotions. And as you can see from those pictures.
Oh, it was absolutely brilliant. How over what time period did you actually watch them? Was it like really? Was it like back to back? We're talking mega binge here.
We watched it over quite a long period of time because I'm boarding at school, so I'm not at home for a lot of term time. So we started it, I think, the end of the last summer holiday, so last this August, and then we finished it about November time.
Yeah.
I think. So over that sort of period, but I think one of the things we did want to mention was the way that we watched the last sort of series 3 and series 4. We watched Terminal, and then was it maybe 3 or 4 episodes of series 4, series D in the same night, which was absolutely sort of heartbreaking because we had, the big ending of Terminal, and then I was absolutely distraught over Callie's death at the start of series D. And then we had planned to draw series 4 out longer, but then you were like, why don't we just power through it?
Binge watch it all.
Yeah, so there was one of the weekends I was home, we watched 6 over 2 nights, and then we were in Lancaster because we were going to watch a play, and then we watched Blake in the hotel room that night after. It was a completely amazing night because we'd gone to the theatre production. It was Hounds of Baskerville, and we'd met Colin Baker and Dee Sandler after that, and then we'd gone back to the hotel room and watched Blake and had that emotion from that.
It was very eventful.
A very eventful night, yes.
Oh, brilliant. And I mean, I'm a bit envious because back in my day, we watched the series and you had to wait a year to get to the next bit. So you can imagine it's like, the end of series B, Avon saying fire, and then it's like, see you in a year, and similarly, with, the kind of destruction of the Liberator at the end of C. And it's like, we all thought that was going to be the end and it wasn't, absolutely brilliant stuff. And then obviously with the end of the finale, we all thought, is there going to be an announcement? Oh, no, there's not. No, this really is
nothing.
Yeah. Brilliant. So I'm going to next question I'm going to ask you both then is, which series are you? If you bonded with one particular series or one series was the what you think of as Blake Seven, which one?
I'm gonna let you start on this because I'm very young.
I would say I'm definitely a series D girl. I love that series so much. I remember just enjoying it, all the episodes, so much. Maybe it's because we binged it or something, and so we just had a ton of like really fun nights. But yeah, no, I really love series D.
D, okay, we've got D. D's quite. You probably noticed from the other podcast. D's coming through strong. It gets a lot of stick in the fan community.
Yeah, I know this guy.
Yeah.
Catherine? I'm very undecided. I very much like the sort of found family vibes of A and B, obviously excluding sort of after Gan's death. That was very sad and all that. And I like series C for Avon, Callie and Villa and that little trio. Just I adore them. And let's say series D, once we got past Power, it was just hit after hit after hit of amazing episode. So I don't know. I'd say probably either A or B. Probably either A or B, but I can't decide between those two.
No, that's fine. We can go for two. There's no rules. So, Team Blake or Team Avon? What are you?
I'm fully Team Avon. She's head over heels for that guy.
Yeah, very, very heavily crush on Avon, aren't you? Yeah, I'm more of a Blake girl. I find him just very, very much more intriguing for some reason.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, one and one. Brilliant. I love a bit of division in the ranks.
Yeah.
And favorite episode. So it can be one that you think's best creatively, one that makes you feel good just to watch it. What's your favorite? What's your reflex to that question?
Like I said, I'm bad at making decisions, so I have quite a few. I'd say if I'd go per series, I think series A, Mission to Destiny, all the time. I love that one. It's just so fun. Murder mystery in space. It's brilliant. It's just easy, and Callie and Avon are beautiful in it. B, I very much like. I mean, you've got the obvious answer of Gambit is brilliant, but I also really, really like The Keeper.
Okay.
Just that
tell me about that.
pairing of Jenna and Villa. Yeah, well, it's something I was talking to you about the other day. The little pairing of of Villa and Jenna is something that I've sort of latched onto in the past few days, because I've been doing because I do like 7 edits as well. I've just sort of noticed as I've been going through episodes, collecting things, that they just sort of have these little moments that I've not picked up on before, and I'm not sure how many other people have, but I just find those two really intriguing. And also, to be fair, most of my liking of that episode is Jenna's outfit. That dress is beautiful, and the jumpsuit before that, the pink and white one, amazing.
What about you, Lucy? What's your word?
I think the one that got the biggest reaction out of me that I have to talk about is Rumours of Death. There is a photo on Catherine's Twitter account of after we'd watched Rumours of Death, and I'm just on the floor rocking back and forth. I don't know why, but that episode hit me so hard. I was like, the whole thing with Anna and stuff, like Catherine was literally waiting for the ball to drop with me, like just looking at me like, do you understand what's going on? So you have that quite a lot usually. We watch a lot of TV together, and usually I turn to Catherine at the end of a lot of episodes and go, okay, so what actually happened then? But that one was just really fun, and I was really invested in it, and the reveal of Anna was like absolutely crazy, and it devastated me, so I loved that episode. And I also think that I don't know if this is a popular or not, because I don't really interact with like the fandom on Twitter, so I have no idea if what I say is going to be controversial or not. But I really loved Killer from series B, because it made me laugh so much. I usually go by that with episodes, the ones that made me laugh a lot. And I think the costumes in that episode were so funny, like the bug outfits, and then like the Michelin men. I was over the moon in that episode. It was so funny. It was brilliant.
Okay, so flip side of that then, least favourite. I'm not saying worst, I'm saying what's the least, because they're all amazing, right? So what's the least?
Yeah, most of it. Everything is fine apart from the stuff written by Ben Steed.
Anything by Ben Steed. It's on site.
Yeah. Yeah. But to be fair, the concepts of his episodes are good. It's just the execution is so awful. And the treatment of women. It's not fun.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's very uncomfortable to sit through those episodes.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, not aged well. Let's chalk it up. Let's chalk up on that one. So Liberator or Scorpio? What are you saying?
Liberator.
I'm gonna have to say Scorpio.
Really?
Yeah. See, because I love like you said, the kind of like, I guess, the homely vibes of the Liberator, and I love the outside of the Liberator. I think it's so cool, but I just prefer, I don't know why, but the whole like aesthetic of series D, like the costumes and like the design of the interior of Scorpio is just, it's so cool to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have to say Scorpio.
I wasn't expecting that.
So Travis 1 or Travis 2?
I think for me, just by a smidge, Travis 2. I think just because of the humor. I mean, because obviously we knew some of the questions. When I was thinking about this beforehand, I was thinking it's interesting that because we haven't done a rewatch, we've only really watched it recently. I can't remember a lot from series B for some reason. I remember the general vibe, but I don't really remember a lot of the plot. But whenever somebody says Travis, I instantly think of Travis too. So it's a little weird. My brain's doing funny things, but I think Travis one is amazing. You can totally believe that he's like, the military leader. He's been in that like space commanding Federation school. But I just love Travis 2's humor. He's just funny. He's just a funny little guy.
What about you, Lucy?
I think it depends on how I'm feeling, because like you said, Travis 1, like if I met Travis 1 in real life, I probably would be quite intimidated by him.
Yeah.
But Travis 2, I think it's the hair, I think it's the clip. I just can't take him seriously. but I love him for it, he's really funny and he makes me laugh a lot, and I love that when I'm watching TV shows. So I'd probably say Travis 2 as well.
So crucially, Gouda Prime, big shootout, bodies everywhere. Who survived? Did anybody survive? We're all for the audio, we're all kind of doing a bit of a weeping, sad motion at the moment.
Yeah. Horrible. It's my brain.
Catherine's delusional, and in her mind, everyone survives and it's a happy ending.
Oh wow, strong. This is good.
Yeah. Well, I was I was bitterly disappointed that there was the mention of Jenna dying, because I absolutely adore Jenna. I'm Jenna is my Avon, as Lucy's is, Avon. Jenna is my crush. She's just gorgeous and amazing, and I adore her. So I was very heartbroken when she died. So I'm choosing to believe that Blake was either lying or just has the wrong information. Something happened. Jenna's definitely alive, and her and Sulin and Dana, because they also survive. They go off and do their own girl space adventures together, and they're this awesome trio, and they do cool stuff. That's my headcanon.
Okay, it's interesting. Yeah, all right. Okay, well, there's no such thing as a wrong answer, is there? Moving on, Lucy, what do you think of?
Well, I just finished reading. It's Afterlife, isn't it? I recently finished reading that, and so I guess I'm kind of going off of that Avon and Villa probably survived, and they went off and did their own thing. I have a theory that because Tarrant comes back in there and then is killed off by tigers for some reason, which was, oh my god, infuriating. So disappointed.
Yeah.
But my theory, Suin definitely can, because I have a love-hate relationship with Tarrant.
Oh, brilliant. Do you know what? Tarrant's not come up at all in the other podcasts as a conversation. I totally thought that everybody would have a view on Tarrant, and he's not really come. How do you? We're going to go off a bit of tangent. How do you feel about Tarrant? Great character, not so great character, irritating because he's well acted and done.
Series C. Yeah, Series C. I absolutely hated this guy.
We weren't keen for a long time.
Like him. He was so annoying. And then Series D, I absolutely fell in love with him, and I thought he was really funny and really cute. So.
Yeah, there was a sort of, for me, for some reason, it was when I'm not sure if you'll know the song Brazil by Declan McKenna.
Yeah, it's Declan McKenna.
There was one random day where I was listening to that song and I went, this gives off Tarrant vibes. And then as soon as I associated that song with him, I sort of started to like him more. It was a really weird thing. So yeah, as soon as I heard that song associated with him, I was like, no, Tarrant's actually all right. And then we started to really like him.
I think he's really funny.
Yeah, and we found his thing with Servalan was hilarious.
Oh my god.
Oh god, yeah, you wouldn't have seen that coming at the beginning. I remember when the show aired, it was like, this is unexpected.
Yeah,
very unexpected.
But with Avon as well, we have a running joke where Avon just kisses everyone he comes into contact with. It's, oh my god. But yeah, no, I stopped taking it seriously, and now I just find it absolutely hilarious.
Next one then for you is, what's your wish? What's your Blake 7 wish? If you could have something, is it, Blu-rays people often ask for, sequel series, action figures? What would you want?
Oh, when the first episode action figures were mentioned, and I have to greatly second that, I'd love action figures. Because I do have I did get my hands on one of the little Corgi Liberator models, and I adore playing with that. So to have little action figures would just be brilliant.
Lucy?
I suppose my wish would be that I'm, as like a 16-year-old teenage girl, there aren't many other people who I've come across with that are like my age and my, I guess, stereotypical personality. Like we're very different in that way. I'm very much, oh my god, I'm the cool one, we'll just put it out there. Anyway.
It's clear, clearly.
So I guess my wish would be to have more people my age to have seen it, so I can talk about it with more people, because Catherine makes a lot of friends on the internet and I do not. So So if there's anyone out there who'd like to, talk about it with me, who's like, similar to me, that would be really great.
Yeah. Trendy like Lucy is. I sort of a full force nerd, and Lucy sort of, she's more pop culture.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I live in I have two worlds. I have my nerd world, and then I go off and do all my other stuff. So
yeah,
I love the idea of full force nerd. I'm so stealing that. That is absolutely brilliant.
yeah.
Oh, excellent. So you mentioned that you read Afterlife. Let's get divisive now.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Afterlife?
Oh, I mean, the emotions were heavy. I mean, we finished the series. I got the book, and I was reading it in school. I remember I got to the bit where Villa saw like Tarrant's face on the screen. I was in the middle of a philosophy lesson. It was hilarious. I was sort of sat there going, oh my, it's a face that Villa recognises, and he's got curly hair. Oh my god, Tarrant might be alive. And the kid that was sat next to me, bless him, he enjoys all my nerdy talk. I feel so bad for him sometimes. But he was just like watching me like sit there shaking with this book, and he was just, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, you might want to put the book down and do some work so that Miss doesn't think you're mad. And I was like, yeah, I probably should. So then as soon as that lesson ended, I ran back to the boarding house and finished like the chapter, and it was like, oh my god, Tarrant is alive. And I did like a lap of victory around the kitchen, and then I sat down and read it again, and Tarrant got killed by snow tigers. And I was like, oh, I was so annoyed. But I think the thing I said to you as soon as I finished it, because I read it first, I think I said, it's a brilliant story, I just don't enjoy it as a sequel. It annoys me as a sequel. Yeah.
Lucy, what do you think?
Well, I thought it started off really well, and then it got to this bit with the temple and the white holes and then the black holes, and I think if you asked me to explain what happened in that book, I wouldn't be able to. I have no idea what happened. I did enjoy it. I remember enjoying it very well. I think I read it over like a space of like 2 days, because I'm homeschooled, so I just have like a lot of free time to do that kind of stuff. And so yeah, I thought I enjoyed it. I didn't understand what was going on half the time, and there was a lot of stuff when like Avon had his sister revealed, and the whole mind thing really, it messed with my mind. I was really confused. I was really glad that Servalan was killed, because I absolutely loved her, but then she got really cruel and really mean, and I just wanted her to die. It was like like the Master in Doctor Who in Series 8, where it's like, oh, I wonder who's going to come up in this episode. It was like that over and over again, and I got a bit bored.
Yeah. I think the one thing we both said as well was that we were really annoyed that Avon didn't get to kill Servalan.
Yeah,
because that would have sort of been a redeeming quality, but then he didn't get to, so that was a bit upsetting.
I would say though, when I was reading it, I could like see it as like a 2-parter or something. Like I could see it as an episode of Blake 7. So they did well in that department, I guess.
Brilliant. And I want to give you guys another choice question to pick out on this one. Maybe be divisive between you once again. The best computer. Who's the go-to computer for you guys? Zen, Oracle, Slave?
That is very interesting.
I'd take Zen, because Aurak would really get on my nerves. I'd end up Aurak would become like a scrap piece of junk by the time I was through with him. Because Zen's just he just seems so sweet, and also from like a practical standpoint, like if I lived in a house with one of these computers, I guess Zen would be in like my wall, whereas Aurak, like someone could break into my house and just like pick it up and go. So I think for a practical standpoint, I'd take Zen for that.
I think I'd also say Zen. I think the scene where he died and he started
oh my god,
it hurt so much, and it was just like I don't think Slave's death was, well, death, if you can say that, but it was also it was also emotional, but it wasn't like Zen was just he was the original. You were so familiar with him, and then he died like that, and it was so heartbreaking. So I think and I think Aurak would also annoy me. He's funny on screen, but if I actually had an Aurak in real life, I think he would annoy me. So I think I'd also go Zen.
Now you've completed all the Blake 7, you read Afterlife. When you think back about the show, do you have like a go-to moment, a magic moment that you think that was really good? That was the Blake 7 moment for me.
I have lots of little ones that come to my mind just because they're ones that we quote between each other all the time. So we do the like.
We have on our whiteboards.
Yeah, we have Lucy has a chalkboard and I have a sort of pin board, and we have matching quotes in there. It's the Avon. You know, there's some. What's the? I've lost it now.
Which one?
The one that I've got on my board. The sometimes I could almost get to like you.
Yeah, and then everyone's
that
like,
one.
yes, that makes it all worth it.
That makes it all worth it. We've got those ones on our board. I think the Blake one that we always quote between each other is the I believe I could destroy it. And it makes us laugh all the time. I think the moment that sort of for some reason, I've decided that I was going to memorize one of the scenes from Volcano, and I have the one with Avon, Villa and Callie where they're like it's the one where Villa does his I might be my classification might be grade 4 ignorant, but I'm not stupid, and like it goes on from there. For some reason I've memorized that scenes instead of paying attention to doing actual like my A levels, so I think that one.
Another thing I quite like in Blake 7 is the minor characters, right? It's some of the lesser ones that appear in one episode could be brilliant. So who would you think of as a great minor character? What character popped up, was in an episode, and you thought, they were brilliant, I'd love to see more of them, or a spin-off with them, or...
Ooh, that is a really good question. See, that's really funny because I can't remember most of these, because we had a running joke in like the last series where anytime we came into contact with a side character, we immediately went, okay, so this guy's gonna get killed off, so let's not get attached to anyone.
Yeah, series 4, we're like, don't get attached because they're going to die in like 2 minutes. That's true. Yeah, I've forgotten about that. Side characters. I quite like President Sarkov and his daughter. I thought they were quite funny in the end. I quite like to see like because she sort of hinted at the end of there to Blake, you can come back if you want to. That sort of little like crush. I think that would be quite funny to look at again. Something like that. I think I'd go for them.
Yeah, Lucy?
I have absolutely no idea. I'm going to have to say that. I have no idea who I'd pick. A really obscure one that I find really funny is, I've mentioned in Killer, I think it was the doctor that was like trying to like solve the mystery of the illness, and all throughout the episode I was waiting for him to like betray the team, and he didn't, and so I really appreciated that. That was really nice.
He was really sweet as well, actually.
Yeah, he seemed really cool.
Well, guys, we're at time.
Yeah.
So just want to say 1,000 thank yous for coming on. It's been brilliant having you on. And thanks to you guys out there all for listening. Do like, follow, subscribe, and all that stuff. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.